Today I'm going to attempt to improve one of the preset styles that hardly ever gets used, wing play. And we're going to do it using an old school 4-4-2. So this is the 4-4-2 that the game gives you with a preset style. Pretty basic stuff, but what I don't like about it, I think it's too defensive. I think a wing play style, normally from what I'm used to watching, is really aggressive and attacking, whereas the wing play style that they give us is kind of defensive looking. In possession it looks okay, it's quite aggressive, I'm not too concerned about that. When we get to in transition though, we are counter-attacking, there's no sign of a counter press, and the defensive shape is a mid-block with a pretty standard trigger press. It's not really aggressive. I'm pretty sure that that's going to flop. I'm going to show you now what the preset does with Borussia Dortmund. Let's go. So at the halfway point of the season, one thing's clear. Unlike Park the Bus and the Catenaccio versions we did, this one is nowhere near as bad. In the table, it's sitting fourth. Now, they are predicted to finish second and they're way behind Bayern Munich, but it's not a massive disaster. And they're scoring a heap of goals. Look at that, 35. But they're also conceding a lot as well. But it has been nearly perfect in the Europa League. I'm happy to admit I'm quite surprised at how well it's done. I thought it'd be way lower. But it's still conceding a lot of goals, and it is Borussia Dortmund, so they probably should be a bit higher. So there is room for improvement. But what I'm going to do is, let's hang it on to the end of the season to give us a proper good guide on where we're aiming to beat with our version. Let's go. So the second half of the season wasn't quite as good as the first half of the season. However, they did beat Bayern Munich away from home using wing play. But wait till you see these match stats. You've got to say that was a bit of a freak result. You'd be absolutely boiling, wouldn't you?
You are having a laugh.
So they end up finishing the league in third place, which isn't bad actually. And now I'm feeling a bit of pressure to improve on that. 74 goals overall and 47 against. I mean, it's not bad really. And a reminder, that's all off the preset with absolutely nothing touched. Yeah, I thought they were going to be a lot worse than that, and now I am really, really worried that the preset is going to defeat me. So then, let's have a little look at how I can even go about making this better. The first thing I'm going to do is change the mentality from balanced up to attacking, because I want some really attacking wing play. Think like Manchester United in the 90s with Ferguson, that sort of vibe. Now, as far as in possession goes, I'm going to keep the direct passing, the tempo, and the attacking width. I like all that. I'm even going to keep pass into space. What I am going to change is I'm not going to have overlaps going down either side. I think that's a bit odd to ask your wingers to hold on to the ball waiting for your fullbacks. So we'll take that off. In transition, I'm going to keep it the same, but I am going to add counter press to make it more aggressive when they win the ball back. If we're going to win the ball back up here, why regroup? Let's win it back high up. And then when it comes to out of possession stuff, let's keep it exactly the same. I'm just going to add a trigger press much more often. So when they come into our zone, we're going to go for it. So on the face of it, we haven't changed a lot in terms of team instructions, which is what we like to do in this series. Next up is the player roles. I want both my wingers on attack, so I'm going to have both of them on attack. I don't really see the point of having wing backs and wingers because I feel like they're going to get in each other's way. So I'm going to drop both fullbacks to fullback support. Centre backs, I'm going to keep one as a ball player and one normal. Central midfield, instead of a ball winning midfielder on defend, I'm going to have a central midfielder on defend. He gets a little bit further up. I'm going to keep the box-to-box midfielder, but I'm probably going to ask him to get further forward. Then he's a bit more aggressive and he can get on the end of some knockdowns. Speaking of knockdowns, instead of a deep line forward, he tends to drift around here. I want him higher up the pitch. Something to aim at, target forward would be perfect. So only slight changes. I've got them both in the two tactic slots now. There's mine and there's the original, so very minimal changes just here and there. I have added the odd player instructions to some players. I'm asking my fullback to sit a bit narrower purely because of that defensive record with the wing play. It was pretty bad, wasn't it? So I'm hoping that will help. Ball playing defenders, I want them to just pass it shorter, so they're going to give it to the fullbacks and they're going to pass it up to the wingers. Other than that, it's pretty simple stuff really. There's that get further forward for my box-to-box midfielder, and we've got two strikers up front. Fingers crossed that I don't get embarrassed here and this actually does alright. What we have got going for us is a super strong squad. Now down the wings, I'm tempted to put Adeyemi there because he's so fast. He's probably one of the fastest players on the game with 19 acceleration, 19 pace. Or do I keep him up front for the knockdowns from target forward Gerassi, who is pretty perfect for that role at 6'2". We've also got another really exciting winger down one side in Englishman Bino Gittins. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty confident that's going to do better than the last version. I mean, it's not like my reputation can get destroyed anymore, is it?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, that can only be described as an absolute disaster, topped off by that 7-1 defeat to Leipzig. Preset 1, Stinger 0. So I'm going to have to crawl back to the preset, say I'm sorry, and look at it and work out how I can learn from it to make ours better to not get sacked. First off, I'm going to match the mentality and drop it to balanced. And then do I copy them and overload wide by having wing backs and wingers? So I've also lost the counter press to match it, and I'm going to change the outer possession to high press.
It's embarrassing.
Guess I'll try again then. So this time I tweak things again, copying from the preset even more. And on the player roles, with double wing backs, I also had double box-to-box midfielders. Leipzig hammered us again because that's just what they do. But I beat them at home, and the season overall was way, way better. Check this out. We finished third. I'm taking it as a moral victory over the preset because we lost 4 less matches and only 4 points off the top. Preset 2, Stinger 1. But wait. We're also in the final of the Pokal. Granted, it's against Bayern Munich, but we've got a chance to actually win something with this wing play tactic. Now, of course, Bayern Munich scored Elise, but look at my boys go. Down the left-hand side, Adeyemi whips it across. And then the opposite side this time, my Dortmund boys, the wing play boys, win the Pokal. We defeat Bayern Munich and actually get a trophy. That's a moral victory against the preset. I'm calling that 2-2.
Absolute rubbish.
So that's the best version of the preset wing play I can get. I'll add it down below if you want to have a go at it. I'm sure someone can do better than I have.
Of course, yes.
Now, for curiosity's sake, what would happen if we went ultra gegenpress style? So wing play plus gegen. So what we'll do is we'll load the best version I could make of the wing play style, but in out of possession, we'll crank it right up with all the classic gegenpress style stuff. Let's see how that works. Not very well, apparently. 10th of December. And now Rafa's taken over.